Chairman Moshe Strauss, Dinner Chair Shiri Osher, members of our Board of Trustees, our esteemed honorees, my predecessors, Dr. Norman Lamb and President Richard Joel. It's our honor to be in your presence this evening. Allow me as well to acknowledge the presence of a former Vice President, Rabbi Kenny Brander, who was recently announced as the new head of Or Torah Stone in Israel. Rabbi Brander was one of the key architects of President Joel's administration. We thank him for his dedicated service and wish him great success in his new venture. It's our deep honor to welcome as well a number of our Roshei Yeshiva, rabbis, faculty, and deans, leaders of our administration, professionals, and staff, and of course, our dear alumni, friends, and supporters. Over the last number of months, after launching our new administration, we have experienced an incredible wave of support and interest from people from around the globe who believe in Yeshiva University and who are rooting for our success. Tens of thousands of people have online watched sessions of our October Investiture Conference, which gathered together the vast intellectual resources from across the Yeshiva University community. Over 500,000, over 500,000 people watched the video of the investiture in September. And even tonight, at this dinner, we have exceeded all expectations, as this Hanukkah dinner is one of the most successful dinners in its 93-year history, raising over $4.3 million. People are talking about Yeshiva University. They believe in Yeshiva University. But why do they believe in us? Why are there so many people rooting for our success? A story is told of a grandfather who throughout World War II managed to keep his grandson alive, even in the concentration camps. At the end of the war, when the last remaining Jewish prisoners were forced to work on the infamous death marches, the grandfather realized that his grandson would not survive the journey. So he placed the boy on his shoulders and carried him. All through the march, other prisoners succumbing to exhaustion or dehydration collapsed along the way. But the grandfather continued to march, carrying his grandson on his shoulders. The other prisoners encouraged the grandfather to abandon the boy, warning him that his efforts will just get them both killed, as he would inevitably collapse from the weight that he was bearing. But the grandfather refused and continued to march, carrying his grandson on his shoulders. And at the end of the journey, after walking through the valley of the shadow of death, when almost everyone else had died along the way, the grandfather and his grandson were liberated and survived. When asked how he performed such an incredible feat of strength and perseverance, the grandfather cited a rabbinic teaching, Ha'aron Noseat Nosav. The Ark of the Covenant carries its carriers. The rabbis taught that when the Israelites crossed the Jordan River into the land of Israel, those who were responsible for carrying the ark floated in the air and were carried themselves. And while the literal explanation of the teaching implies a miraculous, gravity-defying supernatural feat, the grandfather cited this teaching with another meaning entirely. You act as if carrying my grandson is a great burden, but the truth is that I would not have survived if I was walking alone. It was he who gave me purpose. It was he who gave me the strength to succeed. You think I was carrying my grandson? Ha'aron Noseat Nosav. It was he who was carrying me. Why are we here? What is our purpose in life? To what do we aspire? For whom do we live? As a people, We have constantly and consistently defied the odds. We have marched through a difficult and often tragic history, surviving when others have fallen into the dustbin of history. Our durability is no accident, and our flourishing is no fluke. We have succeeded because we have a mission. We have survived because we do not simply live for ourselves. There's a greater context to our lives and an unshakable faith in our future. Yeshiva University is the product of generations of parents who have borne their children on their shoulders through times of prosperity and periods of darkness. And perhaps more importantly, Yeshiva University represents the hopes of our generation for future generations. And this is especially true for our world today, which confronts us with an entirely new reality. Whereas in the past we marched through the valley of the shadow of death with the highest goal being survival, today we are on a different march. Today we live in an era in which the state of Israel is thriving, when Torah and all knowledge has been made more accessible to greater numbers of people than ever before, in which we benefit from some of the most remarkable technological advances in the history of humanity. It is a world filled with enormous blessings, but as the fast pace of change naturally creates great uncertainties, it is also a world that represents some very daunting challenges for us, our community, and the broader society. And this is the place for Yeshiva University. Standing at the nexus between heritage and pioneering, we are the educational academic center of a robust global movement, uniquely capable of educating the next generation to capitalize on these blessings while avoiding and navigating the pitfalls and dangers. We combine the authentic voice of tradition with a deep understanding of contemporary culture, enabling us to infuse positive values and ideas into the current conversation. While our mission is focused on our students, our responsibility is to all of humanity. And we have the approach and the resources both to grow each individual student according to his or her needs and interests, and to exert a significant impact upon the Jewish people as a whole and our broader society. We have over 7,000 students, 8 graduate schools, 3 undergraduate schools, 2 high schools, a library and a museum. We have 5 campuses in New York, 1 in Jerusalem, students from 22 different countries, tens of thousands of alumni, a stellar faculty, deeply committed professional team, superb senior staff, incredible lay leadership, and the most impressive group of rabbis and Jewish educators gathered together under one roof in the entire world. Our students leave here both deeply rooted and forward-focused, endowed with a grand mission, calling them to use their skills and abilities, whether in the context of their personal, communal, or professional lives, to find purpose in their success and transform the world for the better. Our new administration is looking ahead and focusing our resources on addressing the current and future realities. Armed with a 3,000-year-old tradition and building on the successes of our venerable past, we are transforming ourselves to meet the needs and opportunities of our evolving world. It's an exciting time for us as we meet the challenges of today to create a better tomorrow. And this is why people are so interested in our future. Why is it that so many people are rooting for our success, and wherever I go, both inside and outside this country, people express their support and want to see us succeed? It's because there's a clear understanding, both in our community and beyond, that our future is crucial. That whether or not one is a student of Yeshiva University, we all need Yeshiva University. That a Yeshiva University that fully maximizes its potential and capacity is a transformative vehicle for the future. And this is especially true at this moment of time in a world in flux. If there is a time that is made for Yeshiva University, it is this time. If there is a moment in which our children need to be both deeply rooted and forward-focused, it is this moment. For all of humanity, Yeshiva University represents a uniquely important voice, modeling how to bring tradition to bear on the world of tomorrow. For the Jewish community, Yeshiva University is the best investment to ensure the success of our children and their children afterwards. And as such, ha'aron noseit nosav. Since our highest concern is our children and for their future, our work and support for Yeshiva University carries us, lifts us, drives us. It fills our lives with profound meaning. Thank you for joining us tonight. Your participation and partnership at this moment of time as we launch our new administration will empower our children to live with great success and lead with great purpose. And that, after all, is why we are here. Thank you.